My name is Brendan Lucas and I'm a Chartered Accountant. And today I want to talk to you about financial audits and how do you get prepared for your upcoming audit. Now I'll start the conversation by saying I'm not an auditor. I last did audit when I was about 19 at PwC as a trainee. Now audits come a long way since then, but now I sit on the other side of the fence working with my clients to be prepared to deal with their external auditor. So I'll give you that side of the story today. Now, first question you should ask yourself is, does my organisation need an audit? So you can look at the thresholds from the ACNC. If you're less than $250,000, you don't need to provide financial statements to the ACNC that are reviewed or audited. If you're in that medium category, so equal to or more than 250,000 and less than $1 million turnover, you are required to submit financial statements that have been either reviewed or audited. And if you're above or equal to or above $1 million, then you must submit audited financial reports. So that gives you the legislative side of things of where you sit from an audit, but they may also be on the constitution side. Have a read of your constitution lately? Probably not, but have a read and see there what it says about an audit, because it may be embedded in your constitution that your financials have to be audited every year, regardless of what the ACNC says. It would also probably dictate whether it needs to be a registered company auditor or some other qualification in order to be the auditor of the organisation. So it's important to cover that off first so that you know why you're getting an audit, whether it's non-negotiable or it's a choice that the organisation's making. So assume you've appointed your auditor, they're coming next month. What do we need to think about? Well, my first thing with any auditor, whether it's external, ATO or otherwise, is build some rapport. Get to know them and help them get to understand your organisation as to what's important to you. And this is really just about connecting with people. So explain to them what your key pressures are in running the organisation, where your funding comes from, where you're worried about your next funding or not, changes coming, what the demand for your services is like, and what the clients you help, what do their stories look like, and give them an organisation chart so they can see the decision makers in your organisation, and also have a chat to them, see how they're going. How's the audit silly season or about to be silly season going for them? What do they find is the biggest concerns with auditing an organisation? What could you do to make their lives easier? Having those conversations up front can be really powerful. You've done that, then you're agreeing timelines for both parties, whether it's the kick-off meeting, are they going to do some work pre-year end? When are they going to come in to do the year-end work, that finalisation piece? When do the board need to sign off the financials before the AGM? Getting all those dates in alignment now, well before they come out, can make your life a lot easier, gets everyone on the same page, and gives you a chance to pivot and tweak things a little bit if it doesn't go to plan. So always buffering a little bit of time before that sort of director's sign off. Don't leave it all the last minute, because sometimes things can go wrong, or things can be more complicated than what was anticipated to lock down that final audit opinion. Before the auditors come out and have a look at your numbers, make sure you've got good, clean accounting records. Reconcile all your balance sheet accounts, understand your P&L accounts, check that it makes sense as the numbers that are there, because that's the first thing the auditor is going to do. And so if you haven't done that already in your role as CFO or general manager, if you're also sort of holding onto that title, if you haven't done that before the auditors come out, well, you've missed that opportunity to just clean a few things up before the auditors come out. So try to cut that out of the process, because if they see cleaner books, more likely to ask less questions or to probe. Where if they do see issues, obviously it may be a bit more of a painful audit and more comprehensive. Ensure that the auditors, before they come out, they have a look at your numbers as well. You've had the conversations, they know what you do, why you do it, who you help. Make sure they've had a look at the numbers first, see if they can send through that information request before they even turn up on site. Because what you'll find, particularly if you're on cloud accounting packages, you'll be able to provide them most of that information electronically, or you can show them where to go and access it within your system, which means they can already see all of that before they come on site, which is different when I was doing auditing, because we'd have a whole list of questions build up during day one and day two. You then drop it on the accountant or CFO's desk on day 2 or 3. They'd then look at it for a couple of days and eventually get everything back to you, or they'd work back that night. And the whole process was so chunky and clunky, and we'd spend days out at clients, which I know is very different to how things operate now. But I've still seen many organisations and auditors still work on that old school method. It's all good to have face-to-face time, but make sure it's that value-adding time, not just trying to shuffle paper or ask for information. Have the conversations about what's actually going on. That's where you'll learn where your systems and processes or controls could be improved, and that will be more valuable to the organisation. And once you've done all of that, I think the main thing is to stay close to the auditor during the process as far as how things are going, making sure you're on track. If they've seen any adjustments, why are they adjusting? Just to make sure that when you get to that final report, and not sometimes it can just turn up at the last minute ready to go, that you actually know what's going to be in there. Because the last thing you want to do is be blindsided at the last minute because they've made an adjustment that had to be made, but you didn't know about it. If this has been helpful, click the link below to stay in touch. Please also subscribe, like, or share.